Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what used to be called the Grumpy's Not Podcast, where I would normally insert a quirky line here. My name is Jonthan Snyder, or what would be my id entity, right? I guess. This podcast is where I used to talk about irrelevant stuff, like the news and current events, my opinion on them. Up until roughly, 8 weeks? 8 weeks or more? It's hard to keep track of time anymore. But after that, I stopped. I stopped because I went on a journey, a spiritual journey that led me here. A hero's journey, if you will, right? Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. Usually I ask people to like, share, and subscribe to my content. Buy my merch. That type of thing. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that for this video. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to tell you to do is to not watch my content, as opposed to this video, of course, or subscribe to my channel. Unless, of course, this goes somewhere. Then, I don't know, maybe. This is a special video for people that are new to this type of information that I'm going to give now, or people that are new to this group that we're in. If you believe that there is someone out there that needs to see this video, or that needs to see the content that I'm going to create from here on out, I would hope that you would share this video with them. This is my testimonial for how I got into this. And if you would like me to continue in like a Chronicles sort of fashion, like Chris did, I will do that in subsequent videos. I think the best way to start is to give a little background on myself. So that's where I will start. Up until around, I would say, July of this year, I was like most folks, I would suppose. I worked a 10-hour shift, Monday through Friday, in a manufacturing plant. I didn't believe in magic or curses or mystical things such as crystals or astrology, magical rocks. I didn't believe in occult things, such as, witches, wizards, demons, unclean spirits. I'm not even so sure if I believed in angels or ghosts. Certainly not the plethora of gods or goddesses or cryptids like Bigfoot or El Chupacabra. Though, one of my best friends is adamant that he saw Mothman. So I don't know about that one. The one thing I did believe in was Jesus Christ, which, brings me to the first relevant book that I keep in my stack here now, and that's the good book. This is the King James version, but mainly, specifically, there's the four main books. This is something that I've read multiple times, especially the big four: Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. I grew up Baptist, going to Bible school in the summers, but I never really attended church regularly. I had issues, like a lot of people do, with this book, especially a lot of stuff that happened in the beginning. There are things in there that don't make any sense to me and to most people. Well, to a lot of people. And you can watch Chris's video on the 400-year problem to learn more about that. Which brings me to the next book that I have here. Reach over here. Where my books are, I'm still... I made some alterations to this space. As you can tell, it didn't always quite look like this. This book here... This is the complete 54-book Apocrypha, the literal standard version. And this book, I was led to about 6 months ago, I think. Again, like I said, time is something that has radically changed in the last several weeks. But this book has passages in other books that are not in the first book, the Big Black Book. But, as we'll get to in a moment, that's not quite all of the passages in books that weren't, that were left out. Now, I've been watching Chris Tanner's other channel for years. I was a member of that, camping, bushcraft, preparedness community. I have videos like that on every channel. And every once in a while, I saw the glimpses of this content on that channel. But as he explained multiple times, it was met with some major opposition. At one point, he posted one of the videos on the channel that I saw. It may have been that 400-year problem video, but I don't quite remember. What I do remember is the feeling that I felt when I saw the thumbnails for the videos. I had a feeling of like discovering some long lost treasure that I'd been searching for forever. At the time, it was late at night, so I couldn't watch them. So I saved them to watch the next morning. Like I just turned my phone off, set it down, went to bed, got up the next morning, opened the phone, and those videos had all been set to private, so I couldn't see them. So what I will later learn was that I wasn't supposed to watch those videos yet. I wasn't ready. Had I seen if I had watched the videos, not just looked at the thumbnails, I probably just would have ignored the content, thinking that it was just nonsense. I mean, I knew about Chris's paranormal remediation history before, and I just ignored that. Obviously, I said earlier I didn't believe any of that. Chris always talks about the hero's journey, and well, like I said, I think mine might have started in July, but now that I think of it, maybe it started much sooner. It was just really long for me. Actually, this is gonna be a hard digression right here. If you haven't noticed, my videos in this type of setting are scripted. Now, the script itself isn't a hardline script. I do add extemporaneous things and material, but the script part keeps me on task. It helps me from forgetting anything or getting lost in a sudden left turn like the one I'm on right this second. As I'm typing this script, I had an epiphany from none other than Epinoia. Actually, there are a lot of synchronicity going on at the moment, but we'll just stick with this one for now. One of my big trauma points in life was my parents' divorce. And with the content of Chris's recent videos, I'm just kind of now at this instant coming to the realization that I may have manifested that. Maybe I didn't manifest it, but Epinoia certainly did set it up, right? And this type of thing here happens a lot. Happens a lot recently, like a lot. These realizations, the synchronicity, the serendipity, it's interesting. I digress. I'm going to get back. The hero's journey. So in July, my place of employment for over 10 years shut down, laying off several hundred employees. And this place was, a big employment area, or a big employment place in the area that I live. And this was the place that I was going to retire from. So how, after it shut down, how was I going to be able to pay my bills? How was I going to be able to support my fiancée and her 5-year-old child? Now I was in the position to see, as much as I tried to find these videos of Chris as I couldn't before, But then, now that I was ready, they just appeared on my YouTube. One day, I opened up the YouTube app, and right at the top, suggested videos was Chris's videos from the now, what is it, See Light? I don't even remember what the channel name was, but I was at Fortitude, that it just appeared. And so I spent 2 straight days doing nothing but binge watching all the videos. I scrolled all the way to the bottom for the first video. I missed some unlisted ones. I missed the live ones, but yeah, I just, for 2 straight days, just all day, 12 to 16 hours of just straight videos. I spent subsequent days rewatching them, taking notes, because these were the answers I needed. I have this rocket notebook that I have, in which you can write and then erase and rewrite. I started using that. I started keeping a journal that this is so funny. I started writing, all the notes that I kept from the videos. This book, I bought this book, I don't know, 10 years ago, probably when I was in college. And I never used it. And it's probably like, I don't know, this much full right now, because it's only been 8 weeks. These answers that I was getting from these videos, it was what I needed at this point. Epinoia had pointed me in this direction, so I bought a pendant. I eventually bought more, as you can tell. I bought the Nag Hammadi. The next big fat relevant book. I started in this book with Secret Book of John and the Gospel of Thomas, like Chris, not only recommends in his videos, it recommended me personally. Start there. Tell me what's wrong with the big black book. I'm still reading through it. It's a big book. There's a lot of information to go through. A lot that, sometimes difficult to understand. Sometimes. I started the journal, as I said, keeping notes in there so I can reference them for important stuff. I stopped watching the news. The first big vice I had to break. I normally spent 8 to 10 hours a day absorbing news and political commentaries through YouTube and podcasts. It was the only way to keep the voices quiet in my head. You know which ones. Not speaking of the Epinoia voice, of course. It's really interesting how she works. It's like she will take pieces of information that you already have in your head from things that you've heard or that that you've read, you've seen, and in an instant, she'll just show you a complete puzzle from all those pieces. Every once in a while, it's like a voice telling you things, like little things. But usually for me, it works like the former. For instance, I was saying earlier about my parents' divorce. She isn't telling me things I don't already know. She's just putting puzzles together for me that I already got. I just don't have them together. So now, I didn't need to fill my head with all that information. I had another way to deal with the voices. My first pendant, probably the most people's first, maybe, I don't know, wasn't the standard Aegis with the pendant or with the metal. Because I now was aware of certain bad things that I wasn't aware of before, and I needed to help guard against some of that. I still don't believe in all of the bad things, because I don't have to. It's so interesting how, I don't know, it's just something, how that all works. I also got, let's see here, what is this? Also got a Divine Love pendant. I don't know why at first, but this pendant, this big one here, it's an XL pendant. It has a couple of the divine names on the bag. This here is Lumen's pendant, and I'll speak more about her in a moment. I have now of Chaos pendant I'm wearing right now. It's a large one. A lot of green selenite in it. And I call that Epinoise pendant because, it helps keep the voices quiet and allows me to hear her better. At first, I didn't feel a whole lot from the pendants. Remember, this whole thing about energies and crystals, it was not something I believed in. So, as my journey has progressed, these things have changed. It doesn't come easy. I do have to work for it. But not only do I feel energy from the pendants, but they've helped solve issues that I've had. So I do wear the pendants, obviously, and I do recommend them. So follow Chris's advice for those. I do also use the oils. He sells oils on his site. I do use the oils. I have 2 of them. They have different uses for them. I love the fact that they're infinitely usable because you just refill them. Such a poor marketing point for selling those, right? Because I don't need to buy more. It's right there. But I love it. I love all of it. I use the oils mostly when I'm praying or meditating, or contemplating a very difficult issue that I'm not getting any clarity on. I started the meditation and the praying. I'm used to praying. Obviously, growing up Baptist, I know how to pray. I do it all the time. Bowing my head, saying grace, praying before bed, that sort of thing. But I changed it up a little bit. Jesus talked about going into your secret room, in the Nag Hammadi, which Chris has explained in his videos, and that secret room's in your imagination. Now, my imagination, or as Chris Epinoid put it, my imaging faculty is a little fuzzy, as in the image itself that I'm imaging is actually fuzzy, like it's a low resolution. As I use it and practice it, it gets better. But in the beginning, that made it difficult to go to my secret room. As a matter of fact, the first couple times I couldn't do it at all. I remember I sat down and was like, okay, we're going to go to the secret room. And at first I thought I had to close my eyes and imagine myself walking in the opposite direction. And then Chris started talking about the mirror problem and all that stuff, and it sort of changed a little bit. But the first couple times I couldn't imagine anything. It was just, I would sit and it would just be black. And so yeah, so that's how it started. But one issue to solve, or one way I use to solve this problem, is in my house, I have a secret room. It's not secret. Obviously, if you're in my house, you can find it. It's not hidden, but it's a small little room in the basement. I'm sitting in it right now. It's my studio. It started as my music room. I have my instruments and things in here. But I made some adjustments. It wasn't always purple back here. I come down here and put on whatever oils I want to use, whatever pendants, if I'm not wearing the correct one at the moment. I also have, on recommendation, the face mask. This, yeah, he wasn't joking. Like when he I got this immediately after he did, and that thing, probably the most useful tool I've got for me, because it's physically, it's a physical thing. It's not an energy thing. Hold on a second. That thing really helped. It helped keep the light out, so I actually could visualize things. And I pray in front of my Sophie altar. That is, an extreme work in progress. I'm kind of on hold till after the holidays to make more headway on this down here. This has been like a hold right here for a couple weeks. I have it somewhere. Here. I did buy this book, which Chris recommended. This is a great book, especially if you're beginning this sort of thing. This book right here. Even, I don't know, you may want to start with the Nag Hammadi first. Just because the title just throws this thing, just goes, okay, whatever. But this is a great book here, and that's where the Sophia altar thing is in the book, and so Sophia altar. But that book I really recommend. Probably one of the first books. The real world use in the book is phenomenal. But since my altar here is a work in progress, I supplement it using an awesome tool suggested to Chris with the quantum window technique. So what I do is I come down, I get all my stuff ready. I have my candles and whatnot, and I bring up Chris's altar, and I channel Sophia's energy through there. And I add it to mine, and at the moment it works. So my real world secret room is to supplement my imaginary secret room. So I have bonsai trees growing back here, and I've been growing them ever since I started. So as they grow, well, the one that makes it, because my thumb's not the greenest, but as they grow, so do I. And so it's, I don't know, it's like a reflection of real world spiritual growth. So those have been growing for a couple weeks. It'll basically be the centerpiece. I have, incense burner, like I said, candles. Now my imaginary secret room has a wellspring. So here in the corner, I have a fountain that simulates the running water of the wellspring in my secret room. I'd like to eventually fill that with crystal water once I get to that point. And in my secret room, Lumen is always there, my Lumen. Now, I don't know if her name is Lumen or not. I haven't heard her speak yet. I know what she looks like, mostly. Like I said, it's a little fuzzy in there, but it's close to this. Now, she's been in my head for a long time. I've seen her in my dreams, which I haven't had in a while. This week was actually the first week in months that I had a dream. And, of course, she was in it. Not entirely sure what else was in it, but, again, my imagination is fuzzy. So I know about Lumen. Now, I've been playing music since before I was 12. I actually learned, I started learning on a toy keyboard that was like this big. It had an octave and a half. And I wrote the little notes on the keys with a Sharpie. And that's how I started. And I never really understood at all how I was able to do that, or how I was half decent at it, because I'm very extremely left-brained. My thinking is very logical and analytical, which doesn't lend itself well at all to the artistic nature of music. My sax instructor in college would always yell at me about playing like a conservative, and I need to be more liberal. My personality wasn't anything like any of the other musicians at all. And I've come to the realization that that was all Lumen. That was all her. The music has always been her. And any failing that I had in music is because I'm trying to control that over her. Music to me has always been very mathematical. The rhythms, the frequencies, and that's why when I tried that 528 hertz trick that Chris was talking about, I completely messed up how my brain interprets sound. I spent so many years dialing into that 440 as much, I'd much rather prefer 432. But, you can't play recordings and nothing sounds right. And no one else in my family is musically inclined, so maybe it's a past life thing. I don't know. I do know it's Lumen, though. That was kind of a digression there, but my original point was about Lumen. This is how I know that she's real. She's a part of me, and she's currently imprinted on my fiance. But I can talk about that later in another video. We're running a bit long, aren't we? I know my path is different than from Chris's. I'm not a quadruple Pisces. I'm a Leo with Sagittarius ascendant. The sun is in the 9th house. There's a 3-2-1 conjunction between the sun and Mercury. There's an 8 trine between the sun and Mars, and the moon is in Cancer, and the moon is in the 8th house, and there's a 21 trine between the moon and Pluto, and 206 sextile between the moon and midheaven. Like I said, the Mercury is in Leo, and Venus is Cancer, and Mars is Aries, Jupiter is Gemini, Saturn is Sagittarius, as well as Uranus, or Uranus, however the scientists decide to pronounce it. And Neptune is a Capricorn, Pluto is Scorpio, and even now I have no idea what any of that means. Not a clue. I can see the similarities in our past, but I can also recognize the differences. And not all things apply to both of us. And it will be the same for each and every person that goes down the spiritual path. I'm sure there's more to this, but we'll go ahead and stop right there. Like I said, I'm running kind of long for me. I usually try to keep it 20 minutes-ish. So if you're interested in the perspective that I offer here, as kind of a new person to this, then go ahead and leave a comment on the video. Let me know if you have any questions. I can answer them directly, or I can make a more in-depth video. If you're not okay with this, that's too. That's okay. That's fine. I don't need to make these. I don't make any money off of them. I've got nothing to sell. I hope everybody's journey is going well. I hope everyone has a happy and festive holiday, if that's your thing. If it's not, I hope your days, your weekends, your new year coming will be the best that it can be. Until next time, I'll just stick with my usual farewell. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers and Godspeed.